Please subscribe to Facetv Africa and turn the notification on. Facetv Africa, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, subscribe, hete.
Face TV.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Please, what's your name?
My name is Abazu Tobechuku Kingsley.
All right. I would like to ask you concerning the shortage of currency in Nigeria. What can you say about it?
Well, there's nothing good that comes easy, and there's nothing bad that comes difficult. I may not have loved, or I may not be a fan of this present government, but that does not still state that every of their policies are wrong. Now, this is the point. When you look at the brainchild behind the naira the designing of the naira, you will not but love it more. You see, when you are fighting corruption will fight back. That is one thing you should understand. And we have a circle of corrupt leaders who would always want to fight back, especially when policies that has to affect them comes up. They will want to fight back, and who would they use to fight back? They will use the masses to fight back those policies that are directly affecting them, not the masses. Now, I want to draw our attention back. If you remember, the very moment when the designing of the naira came up and the policy was implemented, what happened to the dollar? The dollar crashed. That is to tell you, because the naira gained weight. That is to tell you that what we've been suffering since is as a result of we have naira, we have money that is not circulating within the banking sector. And when it's not circulating within the banking sector, your economy tends to suffer. Your currency tends to suffer. Because we have trillions of naira that is outside the banking sector, that is in the house of the politicians, in the houses of all these so-called criminals that have stacked it in their houses. So there's no way this money will circulate. And when your currency, when your money is, or your note is not circulating within the bank, what it does is that you have scarcity of that currency. You tend to push in more funds to reproduce, so that the money you can have something to sustain the currency in the financial market. So that's what is actually happening. Now, when you now go, like I always tell people, I said, it's a pity that we have our problem. The problem we have in Nigeria is not the government, but the problem we have in Nigeria is the legislator. I'm sorry, the judiciary. The judiciary is our problem. That's why I have tagged the Supreme Court a Supreme Court of confusion, not Supreme Court of justice, not Supreme Court of sanity, but a Supreme Court of confusion. Because it is in this same country we saw the Supreme Court affirming a governor who came forth to become a governor of a state. Now, the question you ask yourself, the case the Supreme Court delved into, is the Supreme Court supposed to delve into that case? This is a clear case of the Federal High Court. Now, before the Supreme Court can dive into a case, there must be an issue between the states and the federal government. Is there a dispute between the federal government and the state? Is Kaduna State in war with the federal government? Is Lagos State in war with the federal government? No. It is only when these states are in war with the federal government that Supreme Court will go into interference, and the Supreme Court will entertain the case. But in a case of a policy of an act of the government, which CBN happens to fall into, a CBN and the monetary policies are there, it has to come through the Federal High Court. Now, it is when the Federal High Court has interpreted the law, interpreted the act of the law of the CBN, that if it is not palatable to the persons in question, they can now go for appeal. But in this case, the Supreme Court dived into it. Now, when you look at it, like I will still continue to say, if the Supreme Court is fair to herself, the federal government did not introduce the new naira note and said it must go into effect immediately. The federal government gave a timeline, and after the expiration of our timeline, if you see, for any reason, any man who is prudent, any man who is fair to himself, 90 days is enough for you to return back any note with you. Because how much do you have? If the monies, if the currencies we are looking for is circulating within the bank sector, max, a man is not supposed to have more than 100,000 in the house. And then when you have 100,000 and they are telling you return back the old note, within a day you have returned it, and within 90 days all of this money is returned back. But because they have stacks of millions, trillions in their houses, that is why they are fighting. Why did El-Rufai not seek for explanatory injunction over the defense minister when the trade issue kidnapping in Kaduna happened? Why did El-Rufai not seek explanatory court injunction when there was kidnapping in Kaduna? Why did Sanwo-Olu not seek for expeditory action when the NSAS people were killed and nobody to account for their justice? Why did Imo State Governor not seek for expeditory action in the court to compel the Minister of Defence to swing into action when people are being killed in Imo State? Why did Kogi State Governor not seek for expeditory action with the Supreme Court to compel the Defence Minister to go to Kogi State when people are being kidnapped? But because the naira note is stocked in their houses in billions, in trillions, they tend to cause chaos. I must tell you this, I must tell us the truth. The reason why we are having the chaos we have today is because of the politicians who have refused to let go. This 3% or 4% of Nigerians are the people holding Nigeria to ransom. If the politicians are ready to let go, naira will circulate. They are the reason. See, now another question is this: do the president have the right to give an executive order? Yes, the president has the right to give an executive order, and the executive order overrides the Supreme Court judgment. It is there in the ambience of the law that the presidency has the right to give an executive order, and when he gives that executive order, it stands. So now, we do not blame Emefiele for not have obeyed the court order. Now you blame the presidency not to have given Emefiele the instruction to go ahead with what the Supreme Court has said. So if it is in tandem with that, now still going back, everybody that is saying that it is against the ambience of the law that the central bank governor not obeying the Supreme Court judgment. Why has El-Rufai not obeyed the court judgment over El-Zazak? Will you now bring issues that are not favoring you? You make the citizens suffer over it. But issues that favors you, you tend to keep it low. Why are they not suing the federal government not to have freed Nnamdi Kanu as instructed by the court? Why are they not suing El-Rufai and Buhari not to have freed El-Zazak over the court laws? So these are the things we should understand. Yes, we may have feel the pains. We may be the one feeling the pains because they say when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers it. Yes, that is the bitter truth. But I must tell us the truth. If the politicians give up, I tell you, the naira note will come out. The naira note is being hoarded today because the politicians are not ready to let go, and they are fighting for their lives. That is just the simple truth. So that is what I have to say as regards to the naira digitization.
All right, sir. Do you also wish the naira shortage to also continue till after election?
Now, you see, I am not enjoying it. I also need money to spend. Now, but like they say, for every success there must be a sacrifice. You must be ready to pay a sacrifice to win a war. Now, the point is this: if it's been lingering for the past 3 months, and we'll be surviving it. And if it lingers further for another 1 month, and for us to get it right, I tell you, that would be the best thing. Now look at look at the merit and the demerit. Since the scarcity of naira note and the new policy, have there been kidnapping in the country? Have there been kidnapping? Have you been hearing of robbery, of banditries? Because the reason is simple, it's not perfect, because you can no longer get the naira note, because I can no longer give you 1 billion at a stretch. When you kidnap me, the max you can get from me is 100,000, and that is no longer a good business unless you want me to do a transfer for you, and when I do a transfer for you, you are at risk. So the security implication that the naira policy has brought, it's beneficial to the country. Yes, we know that tomorrow it might be baptized when some persons come in to fluctuate, because that has been the challenge we have in our country, where some persons in top places will come and look at the loopholes where in the laws and begin to use the loopholes to penetrate. But if the laws are followed to the letter, I tell you, this is just one way that this administration has used to fight insecurity.
Please subscribe to Face TV Africa and turn the notification on. Face TV Africa, subscribe, hete.
Face TV.